Good morning and sliding afternoon. Judy Allen here with Adventure Stamping. And today we're making the last of the free kit to go for June 1st through the 15th. You still have through the 15th, but I'll be traveling. So I actually already have the folks that have already ordered. Your kits will be out in the mail today. Typically, I don't send them out until the 16th, but I'm trying to get ahead of the game since I will be traveling. So there you go. So today let's go down. This is a wow card and it's really not that difficult. And we're going to show you how to do it. All right. And we have another one as well too. Meanwhile, I'm going to also show you because as I'm doing the cheers and zips, it's not just for the free kit to go. I've also been working on the June Adventure Club, which is Cheers and Sips. And then we also have the retreat coming up July the 19th. We'll have another 3 designs there as well, too. So by the time you get through with all 3, you're talking about that's 4, 5, that's 9, and 3. That's 12 different projects, right? So there you go. It's a beautiful set, easy to do. So let's go down the hands. Let me show you what we got going. Yeah, there we go. And let's see if we can do it like this, too. Let's try to reset it up for us today. All right. So this is what we're making today, and I have a 4th one as well too, if time allows. So let me get this out of the way. And I'm just going to show you some other things that we've made. So this is what we're making today. That's part of the kit to go. But like with retreats and club, you also get pillow gifts and some 3D projects that we make. These have got some instructions in here, but here's some more cards between the retreat, club, and everything and all. Just to give you some ideas of all the different types of stuff that you can easily do with this set. Let me get this out of the way, but at least wanted to show you, right? Those are things that we accomplished. So let's do this. We're going to actually use some Stampin' Blends, and it's just for these olives. This has got some olives in here that we did with the kit. I think you know. So this is also in it. One of the dies is pick, right? So this will be for the olives that we're going to color. And we're going to get this done, and I've already pre-stamped the olives, and we're going to color them with the Stampin' Blends and leaves as well too. Well, let's get this assembled. This is just very easy to assemble. This is an 8.5 by 5.5. And people always want to know what you do with this busy paper. Where we're going to use it, right? Lots of times people say, I don't know what to do with it. Well, I'm going to show you what to do with it. What you consider busy paper, we'll just tone it down a little and add some additional color. That one is out. You said, wait a second, let me change this out then. I didn't realize that was out. But we'll have it solved. So when you do this, just make sure you don't have any of it like stuck right there. Because if you do, it's going to cause your new one to stick. Make sure you don't have anything over here, right? Yeah, it's just easy to do. Okay, then we're just going to pop it in here. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got going now. There we go. Yeah, so when you get a new table, right, it's always easier. So I don't know about you, but yes, this is the first road trip together that the love of my life and I will be making since he retired. Just a second. Like, seriously. So yes, this will be our first. Our grandson is getting his master's degree. He's earned his master's degree, and we're going up to celebrate. And he graduated with a 4.0. So wow, right? So yeah, let's get to celebrate. All right, so this one here, I'll just show you. I did do this one a little bit different, so you can see the difference. So there's 2 different embossing folders. So this is one. And then this one here was the flowers one. So I decided to just swap it up on here. I do, when I sit there and do this, I sit there and do use glue. I just like to use it when I'm using all these different heights, right? And we're just going to put this straight in the center. Okay. Now, actually, I thought it goes like this. So it looks like, so I'm going to go like that. Alright, so we're just centering it just like this right here. See, it's just all that's just going to give it such a wow factor, right? Because we're going to just keep on adding layers here. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to add this right here. Again, because this is on top, I'm just going to add this right to the center. So I'm not putting dimensionals on here yet, all right? There's different ways you can do this. This one is just a simpler way to me. than, you know, building it up in boxes and so forth on top. You could, but this is just a simple way to take the layers, make it look like it's really, really popped up there. And we're just going to do it with dimensionals, okay? I'll put this on as well. And again, it's just going to be centered on this white piece here. So, you know, sometimes when you don't know what to do with some of these colors, well, there you go. We're showing you right now. This is all just paper from there, right? Except for the cardstock. This is cardstock and this is cardstock. Now, this is where we put it. So this was actually cut out of, this was die cut out of the paper. And then all we did was turn around and embossed it. That comes in the kit here. So this one's actually going to be put up here. Now, we're going to sit there and we need to go ahead and stamp cheers on here. And we're not going to put this on yet because actually what I did here is I wrapped the ribbon around and we're going to fray the ribbon. Alright? So let me go ahead and get cheers on here. Yeah. Get cheers on here, right? Because cheers can be anything. So, for example, we're going to celebrate. So right now, cheers would be a very good sentiment to use. And I haven't made a card yet for graduation for him. He already knows what he's getting, right? Because I had to ask what he would like. So, he already knows what he's getting, but I'll still do some kind of card. I hadn't decided which. But I did, if you haven't done it yet, I did get all my Father's Day cards in the mail. Oh yeah, some at least there. So this is the same color as the cardstock there. I used Berry Burst as the color. I'm just going to put that over there for the moment. Okay. Now this is just going to go up here. Now I do have some greenery we're going to do and some of the olives. I'm going to go ahead and do this here. Now the olives we're going to have to, we're going to put them on the little pick, the little green, you know, if you did a drink, right, you know, you get the little umbrellas that come with them. And then you also have the little picks if you got olives or pickles, or I'm trying to think what else they might have that they do that on. Those are the ones I think of the most, right? So we're just going to put this on here. Then we're going to get the olives. I did 3 olives because I was just like one of those things. I wanted to put it on here. I wasn't sure how many I wanted. But I thought we could try more than one, right? Because it's a very long stick, right? So we'll do that. So I'm just going to put this right here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to tuck the other stuff behind it. Now, like I did this right here. And it's not going to really bother it at the moment, right? Because I can still stick stuff down there. But I'm going to leave it there for the moment right here. And we're going to put this on dimensionals as well, too. So let me go ahead and do that part. Get that. So that's how we're getting all of our height. In fact, I'm just looking just to make sure. Yeah, so that's how we're getting our height is through dimensionals. In this particular case, you run out, just take a corner off. Oh, I see another one. Okay. And I got another one I put right here. Okay. So if you're not sure, just sit there and put it on there. Those are easy to take off, and you see where we're coming from. Because we're going to tie that around. We're going to tie the ribbon around here. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and tie this. And I just tied this in a knot. So if you're thinking I did something fancy there, I didn't. All I did was did it your old school left over right, right over left, square knot is all I did. Right? And I know on the back there that I can sit there and put that dimensional and that can help hold it in place too if I'm concerned about that. The only thing I'm concerned about is making sure, right, I get about the same amount of ribbon on both sides when I get through tying this. Because that's really, okay, let's see if I can tie that again. Yeah, okay, I want to make sure it's tight, right? Like you're doing a Christmas package. So it's left over right. I already did that. And now we're going to do a right over left. Yeah, so this for me, it's just left over from my younger days, right? Yep. Okay, so it's just going to look like that, and we're just going to fray it. Okay? So that's just how it looks like before you get to the fraying process. Alright, so I'm going to set this here a second. Let's go and get these colored. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to take this in. See if this is light or dark. Okay, I think I've already got it dark enough. I'm going to do the light first, and that way, if I want to do it darker, I can, right? So actually this was originally stamped in Mossy Meadow. So that's why it's a lot darker, because it gives me options, right? I like options. Just going to put this in here because I know I'm going to have to fussy cut this. Or hand cut it, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm just going to put my olives in here, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and color. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all three or not. I may just use one or two on the outside, and I can always put one on the inside, right? So I'm not limited. I'm only limited by my imagination. Yeah, so I don't know. You have to tell me what you got going. I know I've got going out of town plans, right? So I'm just gonna come and I'm just come around the edges here. And if I get it too dark, right, I can just come and I can sit there and use my color lifter to lift the color out. I'm really not too worried about that. I'm more worried about poking the hole in here. And I'm just gonna do this here, right? So it's any way you want to do it. It's your creation, right? You don't get a grade, and you're going to give it to somebody. Alright, so I'm going to just leave it like that at the moment, and let's cut them out. And so you can see what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to actually take this here. I've had this since the Dark Ages, so I can't even tell you where I got it from. I've had this so long, ever since I did scrapbooking years ago. So we're just going to take this here, and I could do the pick tool, but it just wasn't quite sharp enough. And I've got to be able to poke through that paper, right? And you got to have something underneath. So I'm just going to go all the way through with that, because I'm going to put that little green piece through here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And you see what I'm talking about. Now see, I've got a nice hole like that right there. So what we're looking at is that little green piece I just had a moment ago. Let's find it. Right, so you had to be careful, like I did there. So, here it is. Okay, so like I say, it is small. Alright, see how this is going to just fit through here? And if you have to, now see it doesn't want to quite go there, then that's fine. I'm just going to take this right here. I'm just going to go a little bit further. And if I still can't, then I'll use my pick. Okay, so I need a little bit more. So then I'll just take my... So I've already got this right here, right? So I can do it just a little bit more. I don't want to do it too much, right? Because I don't want to sit there and cause it to like totally break. But when I try to sit there and just do the end by itself there, I was just having a real challenge. So that's why I went ahead and, yeah, there we go. Alright, so see here, we're just going to pull it through. So it depends, right? I'm not an olive person because I'm allergic to them. But see how this is going to go. So it's up to you if you want to do more than one. Let's go ahead and cut them off. Alright, let's cut this one off here and then we'll do the next one. Alright, nothing like a little rolling there. Yeah, we're just going to cut here. I was trying to think if I left a little bit of white there. It's up to you. Just trying to get as close as I could. Right? I don't know about you guys, but we actually had rain last night. We had a storm come through at 1 o'clock, and it was going on until about 3 or 4 in the morning, right? So yeah, so it's like, it's nice to get rain. I showed you my bushes, because they like rain. Hello, Bertner. It's good to see you. We had rain, man. We get excited when we have rain. Don't worry, our trip, it's raining every day. Hey. It's not here local, but anyway, still, it's raining every day. So yeah, look for the rain. I'll put it this way, the grass and the bushes are not complaining outside, right? Or the garden that's trying to grow. Wasn't sure if it's going to grow with all the heat, but now we're getting some rain. That's made it nice. So yeah. So have you made any, so Bertner, have you made any of the cheers and sips? I know you got, I think you got the embossing folder. I'm not sure. Alright, here we go. So yes, I'm going to put this right back through there. You just have to work it through. See how that went through real easy. So if it's not going to go through easy for you, you might want to just check and see about doing that again. Do that again, just a little bit more. I just don't want to rip the top part off, right? Because if I rip the top part off, now I get an opportunity for creativity that I wasn't looking for. Okay, so see how I've got my double olives? I'm not a martini person, but you know, lots of times you'll see when people do martinis, or the grandkids will do it just because they can. Alright, so see how that's going to look right here? So we're just going to have it up here. And so what I'm going to do is, see how I've got that right there? So I'm going to actually stick it right there. And then see if I can come across. So you can go either way you want. I was going to come across this way, and that way they just sort of dangle there. And I can put one just right under here, right? Yeah. So get it to work for you however you want it to work, okay? So I'm just going to put this right here, because nobody's going to see it, right? So we can get that right there. Yeah. Okay. It's like anything else. We got our work hidden. The only thing is I'm really just making sure that I've got the little stick here, right? Little pick. And that way you can move these any way you want. Alright. So then I'm just going to put these up here with the olives. Stick this up here. And then I'm going to sit there and do the leaves. Now the leaves, I actually, to get the look, I actually did not attach it to this. But you see here, I could attach that if I wanted to. And I'm just going to put this right about here. So you just really, right, we're just making sure that you're not going to go up at the top. So you might have, depending on how you do your pick, how many olives you put in there is going to decide what you're going to do there. Okay? Let's see, I want to get that a little bit more centered looking. There we go. Alright, then I'm just going to do the leaves here. And I'll just save the other olive for the inside. So we're going to cut these out. And we're going to do the same thing. Except, like I said, we're not going to sit there and attach them to the glass like we did the other. We're going to just put it down a little bit further there so it's get a little bit more dimensional, right? So that's what we're achieving. It's just trying to get some different dimensionals, and there's just different ways that we can do it. It's everything from shifting everything when you put it on with dimensionals to whether you do the height and the background of the card itself. So in this particular case, we're just going to take the elements that we're adding to give us the depth that we're looking for. Right, and so for me, right, sometimes I'll even come down, I'm going to do it right now, is I'm going to come down and cut these leaves, right, because again, I can sit there and take a bone folder, I can take my scissors, taking the blunt side of it, right, and I can actually curl the leaves to give it even more of a depth look, right. Okay, so let's do that so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'm just going to enter it right there. Alright, now I can take, like I said, I can take this right here, take the blunt side of your scissors, you can do that. You can also do it with a bone folder. Or you can add a wing Castella, we can do anything we want. Alright, I'm just going to, if you look right here, I did put some dimensionals right there, but you see, that's all I did, right? So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to take, and actually in this particular case, I took the mini dimensionals because they're a little bit lower in height. And I can put it right there. And we can tuck this any way we want to. And let it cross over. So see how it looks? So it just looks like it's at the back of the glass. Just trying to think of my grandson. I don't know if he drinks martinis or things with olives in them or not, but hey, it's good. Okay, we're going to add some wing Castella, and then we're going to add our bling. And then we'll move on to our next card. Like I said, if you want that a little bit lighter, just turn around and add you this right here. This is a color lifter, so if you wanted to lift the color, just use a color lifter to lift it, okay? So I'm going to save this one here because I'm going to use it. I'm not going to poke a hole in it, so I can put that aside. That looks like that looks dangerous. All right, so let's go ahead and get this here. We're going to just take our scissors here, and what I did is I just came, so there's like a sheer piece between each of the gold. So all I did is it came down, And we're going to go down each section just like that. And that's what's going to give me this really, the whole wow factor, right? So you can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. Let's see here. I got to go all the way down though, right? So that's the main thing. You just want to go down the shear section. And just be careful not to cut it, right? I mean that. It means like don't cut the gold or cut it in half. So patience is a virtue. In this particular case, it pays off. So I'm not going to do this all the way, knowing I've already showed you, I'm showing you how to do it. Get that all the way down there. There you go. Alright, and then you can fluff it around, mess with it any way you want. I didn't do this one down here, so we'll just do this last one here. So the key to it is get it as close to that knot as you possibly can. And that's going to give you the most, let's see if I can do that. There you go. So see how I'm doing, you just want to make sure to go down the middle, because nobody's really going to see it, right? What's really going to show on this is the gold. And yes, if you're using these, just be careful, right? Because you can actually cut yourself. I've done it. Okay, so see, we just cut it down there. See, as you cut it, it just wants to flare out naturally on its own, so you really don't have to do a whole lot. But you can fuss with it if you want to. Now that one looks like it needs to be cut a little bit further down, and that's fine, and I'll do that. Okay, so at least we got this. We'll get the bling on here, and I'll finish the other side later, right? Because I want to be sure to do the other card as well too. So this is how, did you know, it's just an easy way to make a really wow card, right? So that you're not, people look at it and go, wow. They think you did all kind of layers, and your layers is really just your dimensionals. So use your dimensionals. And I'm just going to put another one over here. Yeah, just give it a little sparkle. Like I said, you can add the Wink of Stella like I did. Can't hardly see it right there, but you can always add more, right? Okay, and let's do the last olive. We're going to make it on the inside here. We're just going to put it in there. We'll just put it in one of the corners. We'll put it in the right corner. Get it going, right? There you go. So yes, I have a busy day, right? I got to pack. I actually have a senior class this afternoon. Got to pack. That's the main thing, right? And if I'm going to see grandkids, I got to make sure that I sit there and always bring them something. So actually what I'm bringing this time, I am doing the cake in a cup. When I showed it to my 8-year-old granddaughter, she goes, nah, I don't need you to bring me anything. When I showed her the cake in the cup, she goes, you can bring that. So yeah. Alright, so here's this one here. We just have to go in, and here's what it looks like finished, right? So you can add more, take away if you want. And I'm going to set these aside, and let's do the other one. Alright, the next one here, actually I could decide on colors with ink, what I wanted to do. I'm not sure if I showed you the ones we did before. So actually, these are the other two cards you get with a kit to go. We did these last week, and then we're doing these this week. Right, so usually when we do the 1st through 15th, that's about all the time you have to do it. So this one here, as I'm using, you can thank Linda Trammell. Thank you, Linda Trammell. So she was over yesterday, and we were doing stuff. She was looking to see what I was creating. So she liked the Blackberry Bliss, which I was already using the Blackberry Bliss on something else. It goes really good with this, right? So if you're not sure, all you gotta do is look on the back of the paper, and it gives you some suggestions for colors. But there are so many colors, right, in all this paper that you can do just about anything you want to do. So actually, I'm using my Blackberry Bliss, and I'll have to have this on the inside as well too. And this card is just layering. Actually, that looks like the one I was supposed to do on the inside. That's fine. We're fixing to cover it, and I'll just have to get another one because I'm not going to rip that off. I should have looked at what I made. Yeah, it's okay. I don't sweat the small stuff. We even do this if somebody messes up at the senior place. We just right? Worst case scenario, you can't cut it off, then just cover it. All right, so this is just going to be on here like this here, right? So that's what happens. I have 2 pieces of white. This one's a little bit smaller because we're going to actually, I was going to need to stamp that too. That's okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this on here in the center. So yes, I do. When I talk and I'm live, sometimes I just get distracted because I'm in the do mode. So the thing is, when we cut this here, this was actually 3.5 by 3.5 width, and I did 1/4 inch strips. This one is going to be a little bit less because I sat there and can't say I ran out of paper. All right, so what we're looking for here is the order that these are in. All right, this gives a really neat look when you can sit there and take paper. So that's what we usually do, right? It doesn't matter if it's retreat, class, or even kit to go. When we sit there and do the kits, we make sure that the stuff sort of all lines up so it looks like this right here, right? Now, I ran out of paper when I was doing kits, and I didn't want to go grab a new paper, so it was okay, right? This one's going to be a little bit smaller. These are 1 3/4 each. I thought you had gotten the, I guess I thought maybe you had gotten the embossing folder or something. All right, so I'm just going to put these on here right here, and then I'm going to stamp this right in the center. And if, you know what, there's even a contingency plan. If for some reason you have the opportunity for creativity, right, that's fine. Then we would just go get some white cardstock and lift it up on dimensionals. So that's why I never really, in this particular case, really worry about it, because I already know that. Just in case you're wondering why that doesn't bother me, because that's what I know I'm going to do. So I could have put this up on dimensionals, right? But I chose not to. The main thing is I just want to make sure when I put this on here, it's going to look like a continuous flow of the paper. It's just, it's got the, sort of like a stencil look, right? Not a stencil, what do they call it? I'm thinking. You have to excuse me. I've been creating, working on lists of things, got to be sure to pack, stuff like that. So I'm just going to make sure I've got this right down here at the bottom from the same distance. Yes, I do like it when Linda comes over and sees stuff I'm working on, and she goes, oh, I wish you'd do that. So there you go. All right, so we are going to stamp Cheers right here, and this is actually Timid Tiger, and that is also Timid Tiger cardstock there. Clean this. Yep, this isn't going to look good. So yes, I want to stamp a lemon over here. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do it in Daffodil Delight or if I prefer to do it in Darling Duckling, right? So here in a minute I'll show you. These are actually the 2 colors right here, right? So this is Daffodil Delight and this is Darling Duckling. So they look just a little bit different, right? So we'll wait and we're going to stamp it and see what you think, because we're going to do a lemon. I'm going to stamp this right here and put Cheers. All right. And then we're going to sit there and get a lemon. So we're going to check out, we're going to try some colors and see which one we like the best. So we got this nice lemon right here. And no, I did not plan on coloring it. It's like, why color it when I can stamp it? Great. So I have more fruit there too. If I wanted to, I could sit there and do that as well. Let me get my other block. There it is. I buried it. Okay. So these are my paper pumpkin blocks. So I usually keep them up here. So see, we're going to just put some lemon right here. Now we can do more than one, right? So let's first see what color we like the best, right? Oh, you didn't get the embossing folder? Oh, wow. I thought you had. Because the embossing folder in itself is just says there's pretty flowers and everything. Alright, so here is we could do both colors if we wanted to. So this is actually the Darling Duckling, and then we're going to have Daffodil Delight here. You're just going to see the differences in color. And it would be, we could easily do this. Yeah, I don't have my Daffodil Delight all prepped up yet with a label on. Okay, just want to show you what the differences are though, okay? So there's your two different colors. And actually they really don't look that much difference, right? This one just looks like it might be just shade lighter or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this here. I'm going to first do this one because I'm going to do more than one, right? And I'm just going to put it here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come right here. And I'm actually going to clean this because I really don't want to get my yellows mixed up. I don't care if how close they are and similar, right? Alright, and then we're going to take this one here. So we're just doing a mask off, right? So that I can come in and add another. Okay, that didn't come out quite. Okay, then. Alright, just a second. Let's do this. I can easily go over that again, right? So if you get an oops, right? Didn't come out the way I wanted it to. I'm not going to go and cut that here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to cut this off here. I thought I had it and I didn't. Alright, so see how if I round that off right to what I already did? Okay, let's see if I can come back over it or not. It's not really dark enough. It's okay. Alright? Because I actually have a pen downstairs that I can sit there and actually go and color that. Let's go ahead and do this one more time here. In this particular case, I don't mind adding orange. Because now at least I've got some yellow next to the... I'm going to use Timid Tiger, right? So we're going to just do there. Yes. Yep. Okay, so see, I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm just going to do it right there. And let me make sure, right? I want to make sure I don't bother that one. Don't bother that one, but I can at least add another one. And I'm just going to add that right there. Okay, let's see how that did. Okay. Alright, so I've got 3 colors. I can actually come touch that back up with the pens because I actually had the writer pens. Or at least we got some different colors, right? Establish that. But you can see that the colors really aren't that different between Daffodil Delight and Darling Duckling. A little bit. A little bit. One looks a little bit more mustard than the other one, I guess is what I would say about that. Right? I don't know. Alright, so now we can add bling. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be able to add some bling. So I'm just going to add some bling to the center here. Because I can. Because I can. I'm just going to add this right here. And we can easily add also, you know what I did do with that? Let me see here. These are going to be a little bit big. Hold on just a second. I was going to try this differently. Alright, hold on. I wanted to use these two because these are really cute. These are all the in colors. The smallest on this one, though, is going to be like about that. And we'll get another one down here. I'm not liking that. Let's just do it like that. There. Let me put one right there. Okay, at least we got 3 in there. Alright, so these are, instead of using the glass, I've been using the glass and everything. I thought I'd try this one here. Alright, so we did this one. So let's see what we got here. So this is, we have this one here. You're going to have to put white on the inside. And let's see, I don't think I have a spare white here. So I'll just come back. Yeah, I do. Here we go. Yay, I was working on something else. Always working on something, right? Always working on something. So let's go ahead and put this down. Yeah, so I couldn't, right? So actually, if you wanted to add more to the inside here, we could do the same thing. Alright, got it going there. Yeah, so we can actually add a wing Castilla to the citrus fruit as well. And since I did just the one on front, I'm going to just do that on the inside here. I'm just going to do this back again. this color here. Actually, when I did the sample there, it didn't look really bad crossing over the colors like that, right? So it's just whatever your personal preference is. Some days I can put it with that, and some days I can't. Okay, so I'm just leave it right there. That's going to call it. So we're just going to add our Wink of Stella. And then I'll be cleaning up my mess from I've created from today. Live. And I'll work on getting ready to pack. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Get a little citrusy sparkle there. Okay. Yep, but I can come back over. It's not going to bother if I come back with another color. Alright, so here we go. Let's see what we got here completely. So we have these two here we created today, right? So one's just very simple, and we just cut up the paper. This one here looks like it's very intense, but it really wasn't. We just added layers, right? And some embossing. And so that's what we did for today. And then here's what we did last week. So there's your 4 cards for the class kit to go. So I hope you enjoyed that, right? Let's see here where I got going. There we go. So I hope you enjoy that today. And I will be doing, so Friday, I usually do Teach Me Nana. And it's usually with the paper pumpkin alternative. So I'll do a brief live, but then I'm going to post a video of making that particular project that day, since I will be doing family time. All right, and on the road. So there you go. So thank you for sitting there and joining in today, and I thank you for supporting us not only here on Facebook, but also on YouTube and Instagram. With that, be blessed. Look forward to seeing you next week. And next week, we're going to be doing the sailboats. All right, that'll be starting our new. Let's check the date. I'm pretty positive it's going to be it'll be the 16th through the 30th. That will be the free kit to go then. It will be using the sailboats. All right, be blessed. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.